Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to 24 Ounce Tuesday. Reaching into the keezer. I got some land shark today. I haven't done a 24 Ounce Tuesday in a while, but we're gonna hook down a couple of those. If you haven't had them before, let me get you moved over here real quick. Yeah, hanging out in the basement. Sorry, trying to get the camera right here without getting the light bulb in the view. Yeah, there's been a lot going on past couple weeks since I've done a video. But yeah, let me introduce you to the land shark. Let's see, what is this? It's an island style lager. It's really smooth. I think it's like a 4.5%. It's a premium lager, and it is made out of Margaritaville Brewing Company, St. Louis, Missouri. So, fins up, man. Those are my fins. Let's get this baby poured up. Twist top so you don't rip your hand apart. Nice little glass that my daughter got me when they went to Vegas. So, put some in here. I do have homebrew. It's just that I got to save some of it because I got homebrewers night coming here soon. And I have other brews that are ready to be kegged. I just got to get some kegs cleaned. So, yeah, just got off work. It's raining like a mofo at my work. Yeah, get a little bit of head. Everybody likes a little head. Depends on the type of beer that you're drinking, right? So, yeah, I'm those of you that are following me on the retro stuff, I'm been getting some stuff in the mail lately. Making sure they didn't pack anything else in here. Kind of cool. For the boards, the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20 and all that, pretty much refurbishing boards and stuff. So, got some sockets that I got online that just came today. And there's all kinds of different types of sockets that you can get. And just a few of each so you can take a look. I mean, it's just a bag full of sockets. And yesterday, let me go grab it real quick. Hold on. I already have a multimeter. But this is ECG. Well, that's the desoldering iron. This is the soldering iron thing. I already have one of those. Picked up a logic probe. So I got my logic probe. This is to help determine, high, lows, and activity on chip pins on the board. It's actually a pretty simple little tool to use. So you just, a little tip here. You hook this guy up to like the 5-volt on the C64. You go down the pins and it tells you on the lights as they light up what activity is happening on the chips. And it can sometimes, most of the time, get you zoomed in on if there's where the issue is on the board. So that's what that is about. And I also have, I think it's called an SD2 IEC. It is a little drive that emulates the 1541 floppy drive for the Commodore 64, and it'll work for the VIC-20 as well, and a Commodore 128. And you can load up all your games. You can load up whatever programs you want on this thing without having to have the floppies. And they have all the software, all the old games and stuff online. They're kind of like the ROMs for the MAME system. So if you're familiar with that, now you'll know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think it's breathed enough. Cheers, guys. Happy 24 Ounce Tuesday. Oh, it tastes good after a long day. Very refreshing. Mm. Hmm. You know how you get those like PBRs and Milwaukee's Best and all the cheapo Pilsner lager, so-called Pilsner lager things? This is not like that at all. This is about 14, and yeah, it's $15 a 12 pack, so it's not the cheap stuff. You can hear the clanking in there. I've had a couple before, a couple days ago. But let me go grab something real quick here. There we go, found it. Yeah, so repairing these boards, mine's working. It's just that I think I may have an issue with one of my RAM chips. So this is the case that the logic probe came in, and here on the back kind of shows you when you're doing your probing. I know you guys are going to take that kind of dirty, but I would too. When you do your probing on the board for the chips and stuff, let's get this focused here. There you go. So when you do your probing on the chips, depending on your high lows and activity and per the schematic and other information, you can tell what's supposed to be happening on each of the pins. And if something's not happening, if it's low or whatever, that's where you can start backtracing on the board, where it goes to whatever it was previously. You keep working your way back until you actually find the issue and either replace a chip, or the board is, a trace on the board is cut. You can fix all that stuff, but that little tool helps out. And then everybody else knows the old multimeter. I've had this guy for, I'm going to say, almost 30 years. But I've used this in automotive. I've used it for put my brew controller together, all that stuff. So multimeter comes in handy. It's kind of a cool hobby to get into, the retro computing, because you're actually saving these little gems from the landfill. And my wife actually likes it too. She likes the idea of that as well, because you're bringing history back to life. It's kind of like guys that are into older cars and stuff like that. Anything that can be related to that, and restoring them and bringing them back to the original condition. I mean, you can add to them whatever you want to do. You can add to them, to bring them up to date or whatever. But I want to be able to save these guys and turn around and sell them. I'm going to first get my museum together for the Commodore. So I have the VIC-20. That was the first. Well, they had the PET and all that before, but the VIC-20, the Commodore 64, and then the Commodore 128, and then they had, each one had different things. Like the Commodore 64, there was the C64, C64C, the Commodore 128, the 128D. I had the regular 128 when I was junior high school. So let's see, I think I came out 84, I think. So at that point I was graduating high school, going right into the military. So I did that. But that's the retro side of what's going on. Where I'm headed right now is, I'm waiting for this little SD card drive to arrive. And as soon as that does, I'll be doing a video on that where you can download these. They're like ROMs. And you put it on there and you plug it in. Plugs in the back of the Commodore 64 and the VIC-20, and you can load your games and stuff. You can play Ghosts Goblins, all the classics from the Commodore stuff. So, I can't wait to do that because I'm all ready to go with it. The only issues I'm having with the VIC-20 and the Commodore 64 are the cartridge ports themselves. So hopefully the logic probe will help me determine what's wrong with them as well. So that's where we're at with that. Brewing front, I'll take you over real quick. I've had these two babies. I think you saw the video a couple weeks ago. I'm going to be racking these guys over to secondary. This is my Mosaic, and what was it? This is Mosaic and Magnum 20. So it's a 10-gallon batch. I got 5 gallons in each of those. These are kegs that need to be cleaned so that I can rack stuff over when it comes time. But I want to get these racked over to secondary so that they can finish clarifying, and then we'll get them in the kegs and then cold crash. Right now I'm have maybe a pound of 2-row left, so I need to get a new bag of 2-row next payday. Let's see what else is back there. I still have that stout that I'll probably be back there in the yellow. I'll be cracking him open. He's been sitting there for a few months. He's like a very low ABV, like a 3% ABV that I'll be cracking open here, you know, getting it in keg and trying that guy out. So he's been sitting for a while. So that's the brew stuff. Oktoberfest, I need to get a damn Oktoberfest done. Thanks, Ryan, from Beer by the Numbers. He put out the Marzen Oktoberfest bit on his channel today, and he's got my taste buds going again. I need to make a Marzen. So need to get a Marzen going. I need to think about maybe getting a fermenting fridge. I don't know. I want to be able to lager at least 10 gallons at a time, if not just 10 gallons at a time. So I'm gonna have to look into that. So that's probably going to be my next major purchase, but that's it from the brewing standpoint. And from the barbecuing standpoint, I'm going to I want to do brisket soon, so stay tuned for that. I probably won't. It'll probably be a couple weeks before I'm able to do it because briskets take a while to cook. 18 to 20 hours or whatever, depending on the size of the brisket. So I'll be doing that. I'll probably cook do some grilling on it. I need to get food done I'm trying to do the diet thing, trying to cut this down a little bit. Anyway, excuse me. Cheers. Yeah, I've been checking out all your videos out there. If you can, go see James from the Brew Q. Look up Brew Q. James, he's a good friend of mine down in Midland, Texas, and I sent a couple of my beers to him and also some rubs. He does home brewing and barbecue, and he did a taste test on my Amarillo 20. He enjoyed it very much. I'm so glad. And today he texted me and said that there's some brews coming my way. So he sent a tracking number, so I should see those in a few days. And I think those will probably be the next videos that I do here on the channel is, tasting his stuff and just sitting down yakking like I'm doing right now. So anyway, I've rambled on along. I've rambled on too long. It is 13 minutes and 50 seconds, almost 14. I'd like to wish you guys a wonderful 24-ounce Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And if I don't see you before you see me, remember, keep rocking, keep doing what you're doing. Never stop home brewing or barbecuing. Keep it going, man. Up at the horns. Late. Cheers. Have a good one.